keep showing up, you keep giving your best, and yet it feels like nothing's working. Everyone else seems to be winning while you're stuck in the same place, working in silence, struggling alone, questioning if it's even worth it anymore. But what if I told you, you're not failing, you're just early. You're in the chapter no one talks about, the silent phase, the messy middle, the part where you plant seeds and see no signs of growth, not because they aren't growing, but because they're still underground. We live in a world obsessed with results. We celebrate overnight success, but we never see the years of quiet effort that built the foundation. So when your progress isn't visible yet, it's easy to believe you're falling behind. But you're not behind, you're becoming. This is the part where most people give up, not because they lack talent or drive, but because they don't realize. This is exactly what growth looks like. If it feels like nothing is happening, remember this. Some of the most powerful transformations are invisible at first. You're not lost, you're not broken, you're not failing, you're just early. The truth is, success takes time, more time than most people are willing to give. You're in the uncomfortable phase between where you started and where you want to be. It's not glamorous, it's not inspiring most days, but it's necessary. Think about a seed. When you plant it, you water it daily. You wait, you nurture. But for a long time, you see nothing. From the surface, it looks like failure. But beneath the soil, it's breaking open, stretching roots, building the strength it needs to grow upward. And if you walked away just because you didn't see anything yet, you'd miss the bloom that was just days away. That's where you are. You're still planting, still rooting, still building a foundation that can support the success you've been dreaming about. Because real growth, it doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens in the dark, in the silence, in the days when you feel invisible but you keep going anyway. You are building discipline. You are learning patience. You are mastering the art of showing up without applause. And these aren't delays. They're ingredients for something real. You're comparing your early stages to someone else's highlight reel. You're measuring your chapter 2 against their chapter 20. That's not just unfair, it's untrue. Every legend was once a beginner. Every success story started with doubts, rejections, and failures that almost made them quit. But they didn't quit. They kept showing up. They gave themselves permission to be early and to keep going until they were ready. You need that same permission. This isn't failure. This is the process. And it's doing more for you than instant success ever could. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. And when the moment comes, when the opportunity finally opens up, you'll be ready. Because while others were chasing shortcuts, you were doing the deep work. And that work will show in your results, in your resilience, and in your unshakable belief in yourself. You're not late. You're not stuck. You're just early. And early is a powerful place to be. So here you are, standing in the middle of the storm, tired, frustrated, wondering if all this effort is worth it. You've given so much, waited so long, and still the results you dreamed of haven't shown up. And I know that's painful. Because when you care this deeply and you try this hard, the silence can feel brutal. But let me remind you of something powerful. You're not failing. You're just early. You're in the chapter of your life where most people quit. Not because they aren't good enough, but because they don't realize how close they are. This is the invisible part of success. The part no one posts about. The late nights, the lonely mornings, the inner battles you face with no recognition and no reward. But just because it's invisible doesn't mean it's not real. In fact, this is the most real part of the journey. Because here's what nobody tells you. Growth happens in silence. Progress often looks like nothing, until it looks like everything. And you are becoming something powerful in the dark. This is the part where champions are made, not when they win the medal, But when they keep training while the world isn't watching, not when they take the stage, but when they show up after failing again and again, that's where you are. You're building resilience. You're learning how to keep going even when it's hard, even when it's heavy, even when no one's clapping. And that's the exact skill that will separate you from everyone else. You don't need a sign from the world. You don't need anyone to validate your journey. What you need is this truth. You're still in motion, and that's enough. You're not behind, you're not broken, you're not being left out. You're on a timeline that's different from everyone else's, because your journey is yours, and your pace is perfect for what you're building. The people who win in life, they're not the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who didn't quit when it got hard, the ones who stayed when it was boring, the ones who believed before there was proof. And you're doing that right now.